They already know you hate them. That is your problem. Your face is a confession. They read it every time. Every visible reaction you show is a weapon against you. Visible hatred is not power. It is surrender dressed as rage. While you seethed openly, they quietly advanced past you. They baited you into showing everything. You took it. The moment you reacted, you told them exactly who you are. Hatred you cannot hide becomes a map they follow to destroy you. You thought your anger looked strong. It looked desperate. They kept winning because you kept making your hatred visible. They never needed to fight you. You destroyed yourself performing hatred. The silent man in the corner was always the most dangerous one. He never reacted. That is why everyone feared him. This is what you were never taught. Today you learn it. People around you are not kind. They are strategic. Your empathy is their intelligence report on your weaknesses. The more honest you were, the more exposed you became. Fairness was a story they told you to keep you losing. They called you emotional. They were measuring your reactions. Your neediness signaled to them that you could be controlled. Every time you needed approval, someone marked you as manageable. Emotional openness is generosity in a world that trades in leverage. They exploited your honesty, not because they were evil. Strategy. The world does not reward the most deserving. It rewards the most composed. Being readable was your greatest vulnerability. You never knew it. They watch you react to every provocation they quietly engineered. Betrayal rarely comes loud. It comes in the shape of concern. The person who listened most carefully to your pain used it against you. You trusted them because they seemed to understand you perfectly. They understood you perfectly. That was the entire point. Empathy in the wrong hands is extraction. Protect your inner world. The kind face is not always a kind intention. Read the pattern. You were not betrayed by enemies. You were betrayed by your openness. This is a world operating as designed. You were simply not briefed. Now you're being briefed. One man mapped this centuries ago. He was hated for it. Niccolo Machiavelli saw what others refused to name aloud. He watched rulers fall not to enemies but to their own exposure. He wrote the truth no one was permitted to speak publicly. He said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." He was not teaching cruelty. He was teaching psychological survival. Survival does not always look gentle. It looks composed. Composed men do not react. Composed men respond. Deliberately. What others call coldness. The powerful call discipline. Discipline is the invisible armor they could not remove from you. You gave yours away every time you reacted visibly in public. Machiavelli's lesson was not for the wicked. It was for the aware. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. Now understand what visible hatred truly costs you in life. It was not the argument. It was how visibly it consumed you. When they saw how much you cared, the respect began draining immediately. Desperation does not inspire loyalty. It invites exploitation. They gave you less the more obviously you wanted more from them. The man who appears to need nothing commands every room he enters. Appearing to need nothing is a learnable art. Start practicing it now. Real power never announces itself. It lets others feel its presence. They stop respecting you the moment you made your need visible. Respect is rebuilt in silence, not in explanation. In controlled absence, every emotional reaction tells your opponent exactly which button works. They catalog your triggers. They use them at the right moment. In a negotiation, whoever reacts first has already conceded ground. Control your face. It is the first battlefield of every interaction. What you feel matters. When you show it is the only question. Delayed emotional response is not suppression. It is tactical timing. Tactical timing separates the reactive from the formidable. Choose formidable. They provoke you because your reaction gives them control over you. Non-reaction is not weakness. Non-reaction is the highest discipline. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is intelligence under compression. When you speak less, others feel the silence with their true intentions. Every word you withheld was a card they could not read from your hand. Mystery is not deception. Mystery is a discipline of selective revelation. The man who talks least in the room controls most of its energy. Silence terrifies the insecure. That is precisely its value to you. Fill their silence with nothing. Let their discomfort do your work. Your silence makes you legible to no one. That is where power lives. Hidden hatred becomes information. Visible hatred becomes a liability. Your hatred hidden becomes a blade. Shown, it becomes a bruise. When they saw your pain, they did not comfort you. They quantified it. Pain displayed as a vulnerability inventory available to your enemies. The wolves do not attack the calmest animal in the herd. Only the limping one performing your wounds teaches people exactly where to strike you. You do not need to lie. You need to choose what you reveal and when. Composure is not dishonesty. It is the architecture of self-preservation. When you bleed visibly in public, you have already made yourself smaller. Process your pain in private. Return to the field composed and precise. Return composed. They will never understand where your strength came from. Hidden hatred does not consume you. It clarifies your vision instead. The IT is not hatred that destroys men. It is what they do with it publicly. Transform contempt into cold strategy. That is where enemies fall. Cold strategy is what warm rage can never defeat in the long game. The man who smiles at you while plotting your defeat is winning. You do not have to love the game. You have to be better at it. Being better at it means controlling what you show and what you conceal. This is a war beneath the war. Most people never even know it exists. The social surface is a performance. The real game is invisible. Visible players lose. The ones behind the curtain determine the outcome. Step away from the surface. Operate from depth. Become unreadable. They watched you snare. It told them you considered yourself above them. Contempt displayed creates coalitions against you. Every single time. Respect is not given to the loudest contempt. It flows to the coldest composure. Even those who agreed with your contempt lost respect for how you showed it. Contempt you conceal is intent that never weakens your position. Hidden contempt becomes patience. Patience eventually becomes victory. Invisible advantage accumulates. Visible reaction depletes. Choose wisely. Every time you controlled your reaction, you made a deposit into power. Power is not a position. Power is a practice emotional posture. Practice the posture. The posture will eventually become the reality. The reality of power begins the moment you decide to stop reacting visibly. From this moment, every interaction is a performance you direct, not feel. Direct your emotional performance, or someone else will direct it for you. The question is not whether you are being read. You always are. By whom? The aware man controls what they read. The unaware gives everything freely. You are broadcasting right now. The only question is, what signal? Control the signal. Control the outcome. This begins immediately. Every man who ever controlled a room controlled himself first. Everyone. This is the work no one told you was required. Now you know it is. The invisible work is the only work that produces permanent advantage. Hidden hatred, channeled into discipline, becomes irreversible elevation. They will wonder what changed. You will simply continue ascending quietly. Everything that made you readable, you are leaving behind today permanently. Everything that made you exploitable ends here. Now, this moment. The old you is dead. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future. You belong to no one. Your silence from this moment forward is not a default. It is a choice. Your composure from this moment forward is not suppression. It is mastery. Your hidden contempt from this point serves only one master, your elevation. They gave you material. You are now building something permanent from it. The version of you that walked in here exposed is no longer returning. Let them look for the reactions. Find nothing. Let them find nothing. Let them feel the absence of the weapon they used to use against you. The absence of your reaction is your first undeniable act of dominance. They knew the old you. They are not ready for this one. Most men perform their power. A few actually own it. Be the few. You are watching this for a reason. Honor that reason. Subscribe. This channel exists for men who are choosing to see clearly. Join us. Subscribe not for content. Subscribe for the evolution of your awareness. Turn on notifications. Because what comes next goes even deeper than this. Share this with a man who still makes his hatred visible. He needs it. Tell me in the comments, what would change if they could not read you?